Welcome! Everybody can hear me okay? Oh, thank you. Clara is here. I tried to do something new today. You will see what I'm trying to do, something new. Today is what? Like number 7? Is there a number 7? Hi, Andres! Welcome! Yay! So, I wonder how you guys doing. Quarantine is kind of like, at this point, the lifestyle of our DNA for a while, I would think. So today I'm gonna do something different. So I'm very looking forward to experiment things with you. And yeah, so last time, Marco, hola! Yay. Last week, you remember I asked you what is your one thing that you wanted to try this past week? And I remember Marco saying about you're going to exercise more. And so is Clara. I remember saying that, more exercise. How's that going? Did it go well? Yeah, so I did try to work out, and I thought more or less did a pretty good job of trying, of working out every day, a little bit of a walk, and yeah, some weights and things. So I'm not sure. Oh, hi, Dr. Chrysler. Welcome. I asked everybody that your decision from last week, what to do last week more, it was working well or not. Marco did 2 days out of 7. Yeah. Well, that's better than 0 out of 7. Yeah. So I'm not sure that Moonsub can make today at the chatting. If he's Moonsub, if you are anytime stopping by, let us know, and say hello in the chatting. Andrew said I did more bike and clean the coffee maker. Whoa, that's a big step. Something that deep cleaning feel like. I did more exercise and the more specific goal. Yay. You know, I remember mentioning to you guys that I don't, it's been a while since I drank coffee, but last couple days I actually miss drinking coffee, and I did. I don't know, caffeine affected me or not. So I'm gonna be like, have to gentle with this. But anyway, so that was something new. But so what I'm gonna do today, I don't know you know this project is called Over Above Beyond. That's like basically my album and then concert project. So with this particular project, I collaborated with visual artist, whose name is Moonsub Shin. So how I met him was, how did I meet him? So he's a New York-based illustrator. I think I came across him through Carnegie Hall Instagram or something, and he did a live drawing of one orchestra concert. So that's how I got to know him, and I've been following him since then. And about 2 or 3 years ago, he came to my concert in Carnegie Hall, and I'm gonna share with you what he did with it. So this is his drawing of my Carnegie Hall concert live, and this is one of his drawing as well. And then this is his drawing. He was drawing when I was giving a concert there. I do like this particular art as well. It's kind of shows. So that was another live drawing of his. And I think so is this one when we met doing this work together. So anyways, he's really talented. So when I did this project Over Above Beyond, I wanted to collaborate with artists, visual artists. So I asked him to be part of this project. So with this particular piece called Original Theme Variation by Brahms, it has 12, sorry, I think it's a 12 variation. I could be wrong with it. So each variation, he come up with a drawing, illustrations with it. The drawing just I share with you, I think it's a pen, actually. He used that fine pen. So yeah, it is an ink, I think. So how it worked was that I sent him my own recording of this Brahms variation, and so as I met him in person in New York, where I play this piece live, each variation, and kind of share what I really feeling this piece. And then afterwards, he come up with whatever the image it comes with. He took his liberty as an artist and come up with 13 different drawing per each variation, and the last variation has 2 different drawings. So what I'm going to do today, which is really fun, is that I'm going to do a similar process with you. I'm going to play maybe 2 variations at a time without showing you what Moonsub came up with it. And then maybe we can chat a little bit what kind of image comes with it. And I will share what Moonsub came up with it. And so we're going to do each variation that way. And then at the end of this live session, I'm actually going to play entire variation with his drawing again. So normally when I perform this piece, that big drawing illustrations is on the projector above piano, huge, screen, and it's really powerful. I do love this piece. It's not much played for some reason, and I think it is somewhat introverted character probably drove away from, I don't know, a lot of decision making by pianists. But I always love this piece, so I'm so glad to bring this piece live to whenever I perform this piece. So I actually did record some conversation with Moonsub earlier this week because he is now in Korea. So right now it will be like 6 o'clock in the morning. I did mention that to Moonsub that if he wants to come by and say hello in the chatting, and we'll definitely welcome him and maybe ask questions then. But I already recorded some pre-recorded questions with him so that we can share with him too. So this is a bit different, and I think it's really fun process with you all again, so kind of elicit your visual senses with the music. So I do want to share one of the first question with him. Hold on. Oops. Oh. Hold on. Technical. Hold on. Bear with me because I need to share this. video with you. So I thought I all set up, but actually it's not. So I'm sorry about that. I don't see Gabrielle today. I do need to find that. Okay, I guess I could find this a little bit later. Is that right? Okay, sorry about that. So if that's a case, then what I will do is play first two variations, and what I want you to think about is what kind of image that you could come up with, and let's share from there. Okay. I still have to find this. Okay. I will find it. I promise you. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, I found it. Sorry. I did find it.
That project
Okay.
is absolute.
So this is the beginning of intro that I share with him when I interview him, what he think about my project. So that's what he said.
That project is absolutely fun. I really loved the time. And ask about is that hard? Then my answer is not hard as much as I expected. Yeah. But if I just draw the images by listening with music file, it definitely would be hard.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And the process is, played one variation, the right images in my memory. The memories could be my actual experience or just the scene from movie, TV show, or posters, exhibition, anything. So while you play the music, and I close the eyes and just seeking the right images scene in my memory, and that process is not take long time. Like this size.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is about the size that he draw that art.
A little smaller than this size.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. My favorite stage is
Yeah, so that's intro of Moonsub. So right now I am gonna play first two variations, and let's see if you could come up with, you have no idea at this point why he came up with it, right? So this would be kind of fun. So it will be fairly short, because each variation is about like 3 lines or so. And total of this variation is about 15 minutes, which I actually will perform it at the end of this live with the art side by side. But right now, what I want you to do is to think of the image and share with me afterwards. Okay? All right. I wish I could actually see that as well. Okay, guys. So that was back to back theme and then verse variation. Any idea um, about the images that it comes with you? Before I share what Moonsub has to say. um, oh, beautiful. So Andre said, full moon shining through pine trees on a mountainside. Yeah, I like that, the quiet image of it. Oh, sorry about that. Now, sorry. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now I'm technical difficulty again. Okay, so I repeat. I wish I can see you drawing. And Andres said, full moon shining through pine trees on mountainside. I love that quiet image of that. Anything you can think of image before, now you can hear it, right? So I am really doing multiple things here. Today is a bit challenging. So any other idea? I actually played two parts basically, the theme and then the verse variation. Curious what you came up with, and I am gonna share what Moonsub came up with. So unless here's my joy. That's beautiful. I can see that, Marco. Dr. Chrysler I was thinking sunrise before the thematic change. Oh, sunrise. Okay, guys, are you curious what Moonsub has to say? The theme and first variation. Let's go. Okay, so this is it.
Maybe in the forest or
That is
garden.
the theme.
Not hurry, just really calm and peacefully just working and step into the garden. You feel like morning, really early morning. Birds is singing, flowers, because it's too bright. Only I draw tree and grass and.
So there was a theme.
Similar concept, but the first one is if I work really carefully and calmly, and this is a more active. It's like step is become. I can. It's not the carefully work, just regularly to work, and sometimes a little run or action. I draw this shoes and stick and straight trees.
I see that it resembles the strength.
Yeah.
So that's what he came up with. That was the kind of the opening of the secret garden entrance for the theme, and then the pine tree, a little bit more stronger strength and the theme, but still keeping that quiet and peaceful mood of the first variation. Isn't that fun? Like when he comes with that image, is like, wow, yeah, that's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So I'm gonna moving on to next two variations. Keep your imagination open, and let's do keep walking through this variation of Brahms. I'm gonna try to be better about this sound issue here. So that was next two variation. I tried to be a little more pause, although actual performance, it's almost like a seamless between variation, but I will put a little bit more longer pause for you to, to recognize two different variations. So that was two different variations. Marco was he was actually in the place he drew. It looks like the image that I chose. That's true. It is very similar, Marco. Great. Andres, sunshine, reflection, and a brook running through a quiet forest. Ah, that's lovely. Yeah. So this one has a little bit, especially the first variation, next variation has a little more like a movement, And then the next one was like. So Dr. Kijler said, sounds like a kid's getting caught in a rainstorm running to get back inside. Ah. Yeah, it does have. I can hear that as well. Okay, so let's see unless you have any other idea, Marco, the second piece is more energetic at time. It is true. Okay, so let's see what Moonsub came up with these two variations. You're hiding the little girl there. Yeah, that's right.
This music reminded me wind. I just feel like it's like spring winds. So one of my favorite images.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So this is the next variation that he came up with,
Listen that variation. It reminded me Seven Sisters in UK. Not calm. If people visit there, so they know about it. It's a really strong wind. It's even hard to open the eyes. But the scene that I watching is the most peaceful scene in the world.
I see.
Those are the two contrasted things is in the place. There's huge clouds, right? But the sea, the horizon line is really straightforward and peaceful.
I see.
But the one lady is standing in the center and she just endure the windy weather. There's no weather, just like wind. But they stay like fun. They stay peacefully.
Yeah. So that was Moonsub's two images he came up with. The last one that he was talking about was with the girl, looking to the horizon. Some people asking, "Is that you?" I guess the long hair and things kind of look like me. And then the one before has a little more like a wind with it. So I thought it was beautifully imaged by him. Welcome, Melting Clock, Salvador Dali time. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm moving on to next two variations. Let's see what you can think about these two variations. Okay, so let's go with that. think I need to do this. So this next variation actually leading into the following variation without the break, so it was kind of hard to stop in the middle. His fourth variation is like a Christina's World by Andrew Rath. I actually don't know that work, but yeah, I believe it. So these two, the first one has a lot more movement, right? And the one I just played, and then the followed by much more, I don't know, a lot of counterpoint going on here. Left hand is singing and things like that as well. Andres was a thunderstorm forming on a summer day. The summer, I think, is important cue here. Coming over us after sun comes out, water is dripping from trees, glistering in the sunlight. Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. There is a tension first and then commercial. Storm followed by sun. Yeah. So when I worked with the Moonsub, he was talking about how dramatically different about listening to the recording versus listening to in person. So he said it's almost like a day and night to the way that he could come up with the image by talking in person and playing in person. So we actually had a discussion about how important have the live performance that really nurturing the creativity, and live performance is always different. Right now it is kind of live, but the sound and everything is not, it's not like actual live, So, but we can do what we can do. Dr. Kisler is sticking with weather, and the kids making into barn, wait out in the rainstorm. The sun starts to break out, perhaps the waning hours of the sun. The first one as well. Okay, so let's hear what Moonsub has to say about these two variations.
It definitely is. It's not a tornado and storm, but in the spring, we might just have these experiences like a cherry blossom. When it's a wind, when you walk through there's a cherry blossom tree. But I don't want to draw the cherry blossom because I wanna do more bright and like it's beautiful, splendid. So I choose to draw like flowers rather than the cherry blossom. I think that this is the like movie perspective. Before it just sketches or the background and the place and explain the where she or he is stand and what he is doing or what time or where. But this at this variation is really focused on like the he or she. So I draw the flowers. I don't want to draw the person because I really focus on the nature. And when I think about the which kind of object is really represented, this beauty of a person, then I decided to draw the flower.
So that was the two variations. As it goes on, I want you to think about different appearance of a flower, and there's maybe a flower that can be a person, and there is definitely a kind of theme going on here. That was the first time that he brought Rose. It's all, as he said, it's the main character is finally kind of like speaking inner dialect. Andre said, as a teen and teenager, I associate music with images. I got lost after I became professional and started analyzing. This. Thanks for bringing this approach back to me, Jeeyoon. Yeah, I think that's my job. I believe as a pianist is actually encourage you to be even more creative, encourage you to listen more, encourage you to image or think more active participation of listening. So this is one exercise that I do with audiences and listener of my album and things that I want you to participate in this music making as well. So, all right, so we're gonna keep going to next two variation. Marco loved that drawing, right? It's how amazing that flower, the drops on that flower as well. I definitely agree. All right, so, oh yeah, next two variations, very interesting. So think about the new images in your head. Dr. Chrysler, its picture looks a bit Skittles commercial. Where there are really colorful candies. It's true. A bit like that, right? Okay, so I'm gonna moving on to next two variations of Brahms. So think creatively, guys. Yeah, that was two very contrast movements as well. Okay, any idea about these two variation? I think the one that I just played beginning is one of my favorite variation as well. It's a bit challenging, a lot of jump and all, but by, very introvertive movement. Andre said, kids on a playground after play, they get tired. Mom puts them to sleep. Oh, yeah. Challenging piece, by the way. It is. I love that kind of continuity of that. A lot of child and, the peacefulness of that quiet sleeping, and that's very lovely as well. I think all of these images that Moonsub came up with, it's also very intuitive as well. Just like you come up with right now, it's not like he thought of this for years and years, but more like in the midst of he listening this piece in person, and he comes up with image that it comes in his head, and working through that. Marco said there was a tension on the first one, and then image a student trying to solve a difficult problem in an exam, then finding a solution, feeling he's doing a good job after some thought. Oh, that's interesting perspective. I love that. Dr. Chrysler said, I'm going with the Andres imagery for this one. It's evening, then dusk, then night time. And the kids have made it home. Very good. All right, so let's see what Moonsub has to say about this.
Like a dance, it's a dance party, and not the outside, it's the inside. There's the shoes, palettes, and like a Cinderella. And there's the party time and dance time, and they are dancing and in different shapes. So I think about, I consider which kind of scene is really represented at this moment is that I believe that the far and falling leaves in scatters in the air, and various type of falling leaves they all have different colors.
Does this light means anything? The particular light, is that the meaning of hope?
It's kind of, yes. Like you mentioned, I said finally we are inside. I mean, before the variations is really it's visible. I mean, so feel like high. Not think about the like a sky and the outdoors. At this moment, like everything is finished, and he or she goes back home and reminds his day and think about the tomorrow and think about his love for family and friends. Something is a really good thing. So he's standing alone, but he's not alone. So I drew the one flowers, and so one bright light came over the flower.
Yeah. So that was the last image that that flower, or that is finally we are indoor. That's probably the only one image that is taking place indoor. A lot of audiences love that particular image as well. And the image before that, it's all those falling leaves, and in the fall, it really reminds you of being in Indiana and colorful. That was the most colorful time of the year. when we first collaborated with it, I told him that I actually see a lot of nature related too. Then also he asked, is that okay? He included some person as well. And so it's his imagination of this particular project. And I was really impressed with what he could come up with. It's so related to what I feel about this each variation as well. Interesting to see that Marco said that 2 types of art, and it should be done more often. Agree. You know, my next project, I am collaborating with poet, so I'm looking forward to that medium as well. And I will continue doing some collaboration with visual artists. I worked with a videographer as well. That was always interesting. These 2 variations also remind me of ending of Handel and Gretel. Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah. So are you ready for the next 2 variations? I hope you have fun. I don't know. All right, so let's go to next 2 variations. Okay, what is the next 2 variations? Oh, yeah. That's tricky. And actually, I have to say, starting in the middle of the variation, it's really tricky. Actually, that's the most difficult thing. It's without to continuation from the beginning to the end. Crazy 2 variations, isn't it? It's almost like I go one to the next. Without really any pause, and I didn't make a pause, and then I realized that I didn't make a pause. I associate these more with the stormy and strong emotions, but since we use image and earthquake, building shaking, people running out of the street, yeah, definitely very strong movements going on in here. Isn't it? Any other idea before this? You know, it's very Brahmsy in terms of a lot of lip going on and chordy. So Venezuela is like California, many earthquake speaking of earthquake, I felt one earthquake for the first time in my whole life. That was about 4 weeks ago or something. I actually felt like it was, I don't know, some kind of like roller coaster. It was definitely the whole world was moving a bit, and then it stopped. But then in my head, I was thinking like, oh no, my piano. That was only first concern I had. Brahms being Brahms. Indeed, he's being himself. This one sounds like being aboard a ship tossed by stormy wind and waves. All right, let's see what Moonsub has to say. Right, yeah.
And I need to talk about, before I need to talk about these images, I think so we need to listen the next variation also. This is the next variation, right? This one.
Right.
That when I it's listen the variation is 8, right? 8, 9?
9, 8,
yeah.
9.
Okay, this one, I feel like it's like a storm, but I sketch it, but when I listen to the next one, it's just harder. It's darker, stronger, deeper. So okay, then I thought okay, I need to rearrange it. Okay, this one is just right before the storming, and this is like a actual storming. So these two images are one thing. I can say this is one thing.
Yeah. I love that it's actually this describes the atmosphere.
This is just
Okay. Oopsie. I revealed a little bit of next variation. Yes, so I love their particular two sets of illustration as well. That really changed the mood. We were talking about flower and the nature, and all of a sudden dark, storm and things. So after this, there's only 2 more variation left, and the last variation is the longest one actually. So what I would do is I am only gonna play the next variation, and then the final variation I might just play the entrance of it only, leave it up to when I play this piece from the beginning to the end entirely, in a little bit, so that you can hear the last variation in the context of where we coming from. So I will play next variation and then just beginning of the last variation. So think about just context is that the context. Yeah, so context is that you just had a storm. Yep. All right, so I just enter into the last variation, which is the longest again, but I wanted to save that when I actually play from the beginning to the end. Dr. Chrysler say, by the way, this guy is really good. I agree. Moonsub Shin, please check him out. He's amazing artist based in New York. He's from Korea. Right now, he's actually in Korea for this COVID-19, but he's based in New York, and I'm looking forward to work with him more. He came to this Over Above Beyond concert in San Diego when I actually did this concert, CD release concert, and in fact, this Over Above Beyond concert project will be Carnegie Hall again. I will announce the date soon, and at that time, Moonsub will be there as well. Mournful, I agree. After storm, earthquake, people watch destruction, then resignation. I agree. There was definitely the after storm effect. I'll go with the soggy ground after the storm ends, slowly dries out. Spring slowly approaching, Marco said, but winter still trying to stay longer. Yeah, you guys are pretty good. You see, we all are the artist inside, isn't it? We just have to almost exercise this muscle more often than not. So let's hear what Moonsub had to say.
The laws, the beat just right after the storming. So that's later is the water drops is they are the rains, not yeah, and everything is like nearly died,
Right,
but it's not.
right.
So I want to present like mm, not the resurrection. It's a kind of a like break time, resting. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, this, in a way, this variation is critical before moving on to the final variation. It would be weird to get into directly to the final variation without having this particular stage.
yeah. And
Yeah.
and also while I listen to whole the Brahms variations, I feel like this is the one life is
Yeah.
a life,
Right.
like a step is a beginning, and they growing, and they plan this the most beauty in their life, but sometimes the harsh, the hard time, uh, the suffer is come, and they really got, uh, yeah, they wanna give up, or is they hurt is inside, but after when the hard time is past, they need to rest, then they rebuild and redoing. It's kind of a resurrect their lives. So
Right.
it kind of is a followers. So
Yeah. Beautiful.
so
I
this time is like right after the storming, the hard time.
Right, yeah, yeah. So it's right before some actual sunshine is coming.
Yeah, it's that the drum sounds is that it's for me that sounds like the clouds is a slightly move, then and they uh, they show the sun. So the sun was covered the clouds, but the cloud is slightly moved. Then we can see that the sunshine, the sun down, the light down. So it for me that is like it's kind of like the step sound, like um, you know, like an Oscar when they announce the winner. Before the winner, the drum is yeah, they beating like do, 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 do. Yeah. So it's at this moment the sun is a winner and the clouds is like the curtain.
Mm.
So it's that sound is a drum and uh, it's slightly open.
I have to say, the reason I actually chose to play this piece was because of the last page of this particular piece. Of course, I loved all the process of it, but then the ending of this piece is just so much like you overcome something and you become something better. You become you know, if it's alive, it's resurrected for sure. After going only after going through that difficult, you can get to that point. You know.
It's a really same thing I felt because uh, it's not like everything is done. Everything is uh, you win and you success. So no more fear, no more worries. Not like that. It's okay. Another day just started. That is what I feared. So uh, the bird is this bird is flying to the sky. I mean, it's not the end. It can be the start, and it can be the finish. Uh, but only if if it's this thing. If I choose only one thing to tell by this images like wish, hope. No, day is a day, and it's not the. It can be the better day. It can be the worst day, but obviously, absolutely, we have a hope. So, like sun is here, and
Right. I see.
it's a similar scenes by the like variation 2 or 3.
Uh-huh.
So it's the same thing, but it's different approaches.
Isn't that amazing to collaborate the artist and express this sense of hope, just going through a journey together. And this definitely piece is a journey for me as well, and how we go through life stages and how we deal with the daily life with a sense of hope, and we fall and we pick it up again and keep moving forward. I thought it was really beautiful representation of this piece and beautiful representation of life and who we are and who want to be. So, okay, I love Dr. Chrysler's, so he's described the last scene from the Magic Flute, exactly, right? So sun breaks out and here, hero's trial, and I do definitely think about journey. One's journey, life's journey, perhaps. Okay, so I am gonna attempt to play this piece from the beginning to the end. This might be a bit challenging because normal circumstance, there is a cruise, changing images behind and all that. But I am doing it. For some reason, my foot pedal is not working with this PowerPoint, so I will have to actually use a finger to turn the image, so it's going to be extra challenging, but I will do my best, and I hope that you enjoy to, I don't know, how can I say, like, savor this piece with your imagination again, and just just sit back and enjoy Brahms' original theme variation with Moonsub Shin's illustration with it. So this one definitely deserves this, right? Oh, gosh, guys. I need to go back to disappear to this green room or something. It's definitely tricky to, I'm a tech person at the same time performer. Thank you, Dan. So beautiful, the music, the entire concept. Yeah. John Kota, thank you. Thank you so much for participating as well. Marco as well. It was incredible performance. Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Chrysler as well. Definitely interesting piece. I'm so glad that I can be a messenger of this piece for you guys. Next one that confirmed concert that it's not canceled yet and actually postponed is in the Carnegie Hall, Zankel Hall in New York City, 2021, March 30. If you come to that concert, let's hope that everything is all better by then. You will hear this piece one more time, actually with amazing illustrations and everything over above beyond as well. So I'm so glad that I actually share with you some glimpse of what I've done with this piece. Although I can't share with you in person right now, but this was the closest I could do with you. And what do you think? Was it different? I share with you glimpse of just two variation, and then at the end when I showed you whole big picture with that artwork, it makes sense, isn't it? It does make sense. As I said, the last variation only makes sense when we go through all the journey. Dr. Chrysler is definitely this business journey for years and imagination, and I'm so glad you were part of this journey today. I hope that I ignite your imagination and how you listen to music as well. And today I really feel like I gave a performance without leaving my house. Another disclaimer here is that, I've been uploading this Funday live afterwards for people to replay. And I decided this live Funday live will be only available maybe a couple of days, and then I will actually drop it down. So in fact, all of our Funday live is actually gone. So just for let you know that this will only last for at least 2 days. So, some of the people who really wanted to be here cannot catch it maybe a couple of days, but then afterwards I will come down. Except, I don't know, today's episode was a bit different character as well, and I might, but then again, who would have an hour and a half just to listen through all of the journey again? And it's much more fun when we did it on live too, I can hear your feedback as well. And Andrew said there was a difference between just hearing two variations versus as a whole thing, as a whole package, right? And I think this particular variation really is one step leading to the next, for sure. Marco said that thank you for taking us with you in this journey, and I'm so glad that you were part of it. So this was a commission. Yeah, it's definitely of a commission. So I commissioned artwork to Moonsub for this particular project called Over Above Beyond, and he was the artist that I chose to collaborate. And every time I perform, so the concept basically, the way I give a concert is I release a CD. So my first album was called 10 More Minutes, and that was also become a concert series. it's almost like a jazz or pop culture, but I do it that way anyway. So my recent and current project is called Over Above Beyond. So this Brahms was part of that project, an album. And I tour with Over Above Beyond concert project. And when I travel, this Moonsub's artwork is followed with me as well. And maybe next week I will share the music video that I collaborated with this particular project as well. So I am also commissioning poetry right now for my next project, Jeeyoon. So this is all my playground to collaborate with other artists. So thank you for being part of it today. I don't know, you could tell. I actually work different kind of, do you see this sign there, that sign there? I did, sharing the art, a lot of tech development that I did here. I hope that you recognize. And I actually have a different sound that if I want to play with you, play as well. And for example, I think this is the one sound. Dun, 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 dun. So I hope that I will see you if I play that music at the end. So thank you very much to be part of it today. I am still here. I hope you are here next Funday live as well. As of now, I'll be back next Sunday. I always feel like, is this the last Sunday that I will do Funday live? Not yet. I will be still here, and I hope that you can participate next week as well. Getting better every time. Thank you, Marco. I'm trying. So I hope that Dr. Kitchler, I answered your question about that was the commission work. I hope everybody have a great week as well. Kyung-hee said that everybody stay well, and I can't wait to watch you perform at Carnegie Hall. I hope you can make it as well. Thank you, Don. Thank you, everybody, being here. I will be back next Sunday at 2. I hope you do too. Okay, so see you next Sunday. Bye.